In this section, we are going to look at how to calculate attrition. We are going to look at how to predict the number of employees who are likely to leave. So we have our employee ID, the names of employee, age, departments, location, the years at the company, the promotion, whether the employee has been promoted or not. We have their status being yes or no, the training completion being yes or no, the exit status being yes or no. We also have their engagement score. So, in calculating for attrition prediction, you need to consider certain key factors. Here, we are going to consider the exit status to know those who are still with the company and those who have also left. So usually we use the exit status to predict those who are likely to leave. What is the pattern and trend of past data of these people who left? So we basically look at those trend patterns to determine the current employee who is likely to leave. So in prediction, it's usually fall on patterns, trend, and also probability, most probable incidents that might happen. So let's look at the years at company because according to industry benchmark, most employees that are likely to leave spend less than 2 years with the organization. So one key factor we considered here based on this data set is the tenure of the employees. We are also going to look at the promotion rate, which also helps to evaluate our internal mobility sometimes. So we will look at the promotion to determine those who were promoted in that year. Then also we are going to look at the training completion, those who exited, how often did they complete their training, either yes or no. It will help us know that whether those who left the company usually completed their training or not. Then we are also going to look at their engagement score. And according to industry benchmark, employees that score less than 60% also tends to leave the organization. So these are the few factors that we are going to consider to predict our attrition in this scenario. Let's not forget that we can also consider other factors as well, such as satisfaction score, performance score, and other considerable key influences as well. So, in predicting these risks, you need to set your risk level. So, here we have our risk level here. We will come back to this shortly. We have our engagement risk, which we are going to set our risk level, the tenure, the promotion, the training completion risk. Then after, we calculate for our total risk score. Let's begin with our engagement risk using the if function. The logical score is, we select the engagement score 73. If the employee scored less than or equal to 60, we represent such an employee with 1. If not, 0. So here, all the employees that scored less than 60 are going to be represented with 1. And those that scored above 70 will be represented with 0. Then you press enter. We have the employees that score above 70 being pegged as 0. Then those who scored below 60 being represented as 1. You can see it here and throughout the data. Let's calculate the tenure risk. We are going to use the if function. So the tenure, we are looking at the years each employee spent with the company. So if the employee spent less than 2 years or equal to 2 years with the company, we represent it with 1. If not, 0. So here, all the employees that have spent less than 2 years with a company are being represented with 1. And those who have spent above 2 years with a company are represented with 0. And bear in mind that according to industry benchmark, employees who are likely to leave the organization mostly spend less than 2 years with the institution. So we benchmark our risk level to 2, that employees that spend less than 2 years with the company are likely to leave the organization. Then you press enter. We have it calculated. Employees that spend 7 years is being represented with 0. An employee that spent 2 years being represented with 1. Let's calculate our promotion risk using the if function. If the employee has been promoted, if it is yes, then 0. If not, 1. Here, all the employees that have not been promoted are being represented with 1, and those who have been promoted are being represented with 0. What we are looking at is the employees who have been promoted and not promoted, whether it could influence the risk of them leaving. So we are considering those who haven't been promoted in our prediction. Then you press equal to 0, those who have been promoted, 0, those who have been promoted being represented with 1. Let's calculate, do same for the training completion. If the employee did not complete his training, we represent it with 1. If not, 0. The same as the promotion. Then you press enter. We have all the employees that completed their training to be 0, and those who couldn't complete their trainings to be 1. Now, you calculate the total risk for each employee. Let's use the sum function. Then close your brackets, press enter. We have it being calculated. So this is our total risk score for each employee. So we are going to classify our total risk score into different risk level to know the employees who are at higher risk of leaving and those who are not. With our risk model, all the employees that score a total risk score to be less than 1 have a lower possibility of them leaving, and those who score more than 3 have a higher possibility of them leaving. And 2, to be medium employees, those in neutrality, they we could tell that these people are not likely to leave uh, within our current attrition period. So let's do for the classification by using the same if function. Select your total risk score. If the risk score is greater than or equal to 3, it's high. If don't forget your comma. If the total risk score is equal to 2, it's medium. Then if not, 0, double brackets. What this means that employees that scored a total risk score higher than 3, the possibility of them leaving is high. Then employees that scored 2, the possibility of them leaving is quite moderate. And those that scored less than 1, their risk level is low. The likelihood of them being with a company for a very long time is higher. Then you press equal to. Sorry, here we need to change the 0 to low. So the employees that scored 3 or greater than 3, the possibility of them leaving is higher. And those that scored 2, the possibility of them leaving is moderate. And those that scored below 1, the possibility of them being with the company for quite a longer period is higher. So we have it here. Those that scored less than 2, 1 is low. Then we have medium. Those that scored 2, we have high. Then here, let's